Hello again, it's Mike DeZinno, America's Blind Tradesman, and welcome back to ilovemytools.com. As I had promised on a previous video, I was going to show you some of the neat things that I have been able to do with the Rockwell JawHorse. Things that I have not been able to do very successfully with other pieces of machinery or other methods of clamping. For example, this is a step bolt, and I needed to duplicate this. It was broken, and I had a hard time finding them locally, and I could order them from halfway across the country, and by the time the $4 bolt got here, it was going to cost almost $30 with shipping and everything else. So I came up with the idea, why don't I just take something as simple as a 1/4 inch hardened bolt and get a piece of pipe nipple and make my own step bolt. Well, the problem is a 1/4 inch bolt doesn't quite fit into the nipple very easily. So it means you have to drill it out. Well, drilling a little pipe nipple on a drill press or drilling it in a traditional vise is a little problematic because to hold it tight enough, you could crush it out of round. You don't have that problem with the JawHorse because of the rubber jaws. Now, because the rubber jaws in the JawHorse not only are they hard, high-density rubber, they have grooves in them. They have 3 vertical grooves and 2 horizontal grooves for holding round objects. But here's a further trick that I learned. This nipple will heat up tremendously. You run the risk of possibly melting or damaging the rubber, but it will hold it. Well, I just simply take a piece of emery cloth, put the grit against the pipe nipple, wrap it in the pipe nipple, and then I will clamp it into the jaws. Well, the jaws will hold it tight. The grit on the emery will keep it from spinning, and the paper will insulate it so that any heat doesn't get transferred into the rubber of the jaws, and it protects the rubber jaws. And so I'm going to show you how that's going to work here in a second. Okay, I've wrapped the pipe nipple into a piece of emery. I will just lock it into the jaws, holding it in one of the grooves, the 3 grooves that are vertical on it. You can really tighten it. Now that nipple will not move. I will take a drill bit. This was already pre-started. One of the other things I like about the JawHorse, it is substantial. There's a lot of steel in this. It is not a flimsy piece of equipment, which means in this area right here, which is probably a piece of 3x3, 3/8 thick, 5/16 thick angle iron, put an ordinary magnet there, and you can hold little things like drill bits and stuff to the horse very, very quickly. And that's kind of a cool thing to do. All right, I've put a drill bit in. I found that if you're going to drill out the nipple, step it. So, and I have drill bits that are divided into 64ths, so I'm going to bring it up in 64ths until the 1/4 inch bolt will go through it very nicely. And there it goes. Okay, that's that side done. Let's get the next size up and drill it. One of the things I will warn you, when you're doing this type of drilling into a tube like that, you have to be careful that you don't break your wrist. So hold the gun defensively so that should it jam, because the JawHorse won't let go. So what will, if the gun locks, it'll take you for the ride. That's what you have to be careful of. Somebody reminded me of something, and we're sticking this little clip in the middle of the explanation of how you can hold a round object so you can drill it out using a JawHorse. I wasn't oiling the bits. I mean, this is me rushing. I know better than that. You should, especially for this type of drilling because of the high friction, you should either use a cutting oil or something as simple as a 3-in-1 oil. And I was not doing that, but normally I would have oiled my bits and put oil on them and made them, ready to go, so that when I was doing the drilling I was doing, I had an oiled bit that wasn't so apt to bind in the slot as before. And now that I've oiled, I should be able to drill. I'm like within a 1/2 inch of being finished. Put it in the can of water, because it's going to be hot. Let it cool down for a second. And now let's test it. Unwind the emery off of it. And there we go. You got your bushing. Now you just cut it to the length you need, and it is done. And this, trust me, is a lot easier to do because you can hold this in a JawHorse and get the job done. Okay, that's one of the applications we found for the JawHorse. This is Mike DeZinno, America's Blind Tradesman. Thank you for coming to ilovemytools.com. Sign up for our newsletter, stay plugged in, and learn about some of the things we all discover together. And join our forum. Tell us about your JawHorse. Tell us about some of the other tools you love to use. Stay safe, stay productive, and I'll see you next time.